What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show. It's Friday, and Bitcoin is going up a little bit. Where are we going? We're still at 97. We're at like 97.5 right now. Yep, 97.5. Woo! Let's keep going, Bitcoin. See, we got a nice little pump here. Where are we going? We're still going to go up to 100 or 105. We're going to see all-time highs. I hope so, but there's still a big competition going on. I got like some articles out here saying, like, talking about how institutional Bitcoin buying may soon price out retail's longitude. So if you're a retail person or just the average Joe, just start collecting some Bitcoin. We can help you out here at the Crypto Club. If you don't know anything about crypto, Bitcoin, it's like, what is this stuff? We can help you out. We got educators, me included, here to be able to help you out. Just get you set up. We'll set you up with a crypto wallet. We'll set you up with an exchange or platform, just a fiat on and off ramp. Maybe a couple of those so you have options to choose from. And then we'll show you how to take self-custody of your crypto so that way you can be in charge and in control of your money and finances. But yeah, so that's just one of the articles we got going on. We also got Kraken finding like a North Korean hacker trying to apply for their jobs. That's something we want to pay attention to. Privacy coins are probably going to be banned in the UK or the EU and by 2027. So we'll see what they're talking about there. And we're going to go over some stablecoin news because remember yesterday I was talking about how Ripple tried to buy Circle for $5 billion, which was a joke. It's like really like Circle has a market cap of like $60 billion out there. Like, let me pull it up. Like Tether is 150 billion, but Circle is at $61 billion. So Ripple is trying to acquire them, just like probably really to try to control the stable market because there's a lot of competition going on right now. We have Tether going up against Trump's USD1 coin. Ripple's trying to go after Circle. So the battle is on. Who's going to win? Let's just find out. So let's go through the news today, cover some articles, and just see what's happening in the crypto space. So here we go. Let's start off with the Ripple gets aggressive with $20 billion bid to buy Circle. So yeah, so the higher valuation is now under active negotiation, according to Bloomberg sources. Now, if confirmed, the deal would shift the balance of power in the global stablecoin market. Now, Ripple's move to acquire Circle would give it control of USDC, the world's second largest stablecoin. The timing of the proposed deal comes as Circle is cautious after filing an IPO application in the US. Now, crypto lawyers Bill Morgan hinted that Ripple's RLUSD token launch may be a precursor to this acquisition attempt. Now, RLUSD is a compliant enterprise stablecoin meant to be embedded into Ripple's global payment system. Crypto influencer Crypto Airy described the move as an aggressive market consolidation. Ripple buying Circle is not for the financials, she said, citing a large ambition to buy out Circle's infrastructure and limit smaller rivals. So it's kind of like a planned out like way of them like controlling that market. It's like, let's buy out the small guys, and we can get this bigger one, then we want to worry about them later. So again, they're fighting, they're trying. But Dave Schwartz, Ripple CTO, added that they speculation by lightheartedly responding to the amount on the bid, noting that $6 billion, but that's our final offer. They comment, while funny, came at a critical moment when Ripple was eagerly discussing its growing appetite for acquisitions. Now, who else have they been acquiring? So let's talk about that. So this comes as Ripple acquired Hidden Road for $1.25 billion last month as part of a broader strategy. Hidden Road is a non-bank prime brokerage that processes $3 trillion per year for over 300 institutional clients. Now, Ripple noted that the deal would help Hidden Road scale infrastructure using its balance sheets to expand global clearing services. Now, upon finalization, the acquisition would make Ripple the only crypto-native company with a global multi-asset prime broker. Now, this strengthens Ripple's role in mainstream finance and sets the stage for institutional trading of digital assets like XRP. Now, RLUSD's integration signals broader utility shifts. The launch of the RLUSD is in line with Ripple's bid for Circle and further underlines its stablecoin push. Now, RLUSD offers dual functionality in Ripple's payment and investment ecosystem and serves both institutional payment needs and DeFi access. RLUSD is integrated directly into Ripple's payments, providing faster and less expensive cross-border settlements. And this addition is designed to distinguish it from other stablecoins with particular regard to compliance and real-world adoption. Now, currently, its market capitalization has gone over the 300 million mark, and Ripple has expanded RLUSD's reach to the Middle East as a region now known for the fast adoption of blockchain technologies. According to the company, 40% of the regional enterprises currently use Ripple for digital asset custody, and RLUSD's compliance first design aligns with regulations on a local level. Now, this allows Ripple to strengthen its relationship with institutional partners through their trust. Now, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has hinted at his company's IPO and said its 2024 valuation of $11 billion is outdated. A successful IPO or significant legal clarity would be needed before any acquisition of Circle. Now, any potential Circle acquisition is still in the shadow of Ripple's legal mess with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, but as the SEC lawsuits nears an end, clarity around Ripple's regulatory status is crucial in boosting further growth. Now, after the deal gets finalized, Ripple will have the most control over two prominent stablecoins in RLUSD and USDC, as well as institutional clearing and global payment rails. Now, this would position Ripple in the middle of an emerging digital financial ecosystem. So if they do happen to acquire it, this will give them a big push up. And then I guess then if they did acquire this, their next competition after would be Tether or Trump's USD1 stablecoin, because I feel like that would be the biggest competitions right there. And then again, they'll still be going after or going against like the smaller ones as well, because there's a handful of stablecoins out there. We got DAI, we got let's see. I know DAI is the only other one that people like don't really know about. USD1, which is the America. We have USDT, which is Tether from Palo Alto. USDC, which is Circle. Ripple is RLUSD, and there was DAI, like I said. And there's like I think a couple handful of those out there, but they're more of the smaller ones. So the big guys again are Tether, USDC, and also the USD1, because USD1 still not the big guy yet, but because of the backing behind Trump, like that was really going to be a big one. But that's Ripple getting aggressive with USDC's purchase. So let's continue on with some more stablecoin news on how Tether goes head to head with Trump's stablecoin USDC or USD1, and why it's good news for crypto. So let's find out. So Tether plans to launch a new US-focused stablecoin by 2025 to rival Trump-backed USD1, entering a competitive market with strong backing. Now, Tether, the world's largest stablecoin issuer with over $143 billion in circulation, is preparing to enter the U.S. domestic market with a new dollar-pegged stablecoin. Now, with this launch, the Tether plans to compete directly with key players in the U.S. stablecoin market, like the Trump family-backed World Liberty Finance and its USD1 coin. Now, Tether to compete with USD1. CEO Paolo Arduano, he is the CEO of Tether, he revealed that these plans during a CNBC interview at the Token 2049 conference in Dubai, that according to the CEO, the stable coin will launch by the end of the year, so 2025. He also mentioned that the company's US-focused stablecoin would be different from its international USDT offering. Now, its launch timeline is dependent on the timeline of the financial legislation, and the stablecoin landscape is becoming increasingly competitive as Tether prepares to challenge World Liberty Financial's USD1, a stablecoin initiative backed by Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. Eric Trump has been quite vocal about crypto and even stated that crypto could replace SWIFT payment systems. Now, Tether planned entry into the U.S. domestic market is a major move as the regulatory environment is changing under the new current administration. Now, World Liberty Finance has already announced its USD1 token, which promises to be fully backed by short-term U.S. government treasuries. Now, the U.S. dollar deposits and other cash equivalents, the token is initially planned for launch on Ethereum and Binance's Smart Chain. Now, Tether's U.S. market entry follows Arduano's increased presence in Washington, where he has engaged in meetings with lawmakers and participated in crypto industry events. This approach, characterized by some as a charm offense, includes a private lunch with Senator Bill Hagerty and various networking activities with policy influencers. Now, Tether mentioned legal corporations as a central element of its messaging to U.S. policymakers. Now, there is no company, even in traditional financial systems, that has such a breadth of collaboration with law enforcement, Arduano stated during his interview. Now, why the firm's U.S. launch could be good news for crypto? Well, Tether's goal of entering the U.S. market may create a more competitive cryptocurrency ecosystem, more transparency, and tie into reputable financial support. Now, joining Arduano, pointing out the strength of the company's financials and operational transparency as an advantage, creating possible new industry standards. Now, the stablecoin issuer has made notable developments on previous issuing revolving around reserves. Per Tether's most recent attestation report, the company reportedly now has approximately 120 billion in U.S. Treasuries, and the total assets amount to at least to $149.27 billion, with $143.68 billion in liabilities, creating at least a $5.6 billion surplus. Now, Tether's partnership with Cantor Fitzgerald to oversee its treasury gives the company some institutional credibility. Arduino was careful to avoid a potential conflict of interest, stating that he does not talk to Secretary Lutnick directly because of the proper walls, but did say Tether has great relationships with many people in the US and as well now in Washington. Now, the company's quarterly growth metrics also show increased adoption, with approximately $46 million of new USDT wallets created during the most recent reporting period. And this 13% increase from the previous quarter, this is an indication of growing user confidence despite past regulatory challenges. And this includes an $18.5 million settlement with the New York Attorney General in 2021 over allegations regarding misrepresentation about its reserves. Now, as per Arduino's recent tweet, he expects a 10x projection for Tether in the next 5 years. He also mentioned that Tether products could reach almost $3 billion, 3 billion people. And the stablecoin's growth could also be good news for crypto, as 37% of the global users use USDT for savings, with an average daily volume of 30 billion. And again, people are using stablecoins as a savings. They don't want to keep it in their own bank account, so they rather at least have it in their own wallet. Sure, Tether still is a centralized token out there, but again, they prefer the crypto over the actual US dollar. So let's just let that sink in for a little bit. So people are just kind of moving away out of it. I mean, yeah, Paulo Arduino did say, he was the CEO of Tether, that it could replace the SWIFT system right now, because again, SWIFT's slow, it's costly, and it takes time. Yeah, again, it just takes time to move your money around, versus Tether and stablecoins, take 30 minutes or an hour at most. So there's a big difference there. But yeah, so Tether is going head to head with Trump's stablecoin right there. Ripple's trying to acquire Circle, and that's it for the stablecoin news. Let's move on to our next article, talking about the CIA deputy director calls Bitcoin another tool in a fight against China. So yeah, so Michael Ellis thinks that Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay, calling the wider adoption of the crypto a great trend. Now, the deputy director of America's Central Intelligence Agency called Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies another tool in the toolbox that the U.S. can use to fight its adversaries, in an interview on Wednesday. Michael Ellis, who was sworn in as deputy director of the CIA in February, said on crypto influencer Anthony Pompliano's podcast that the agency could use them to position itself against competition like China. He said it's another area of technological competition where we need to make sure the United States is very well positioned against China and other adversaries, he said, adding that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are another tool in the toolbox, but also a target. And you can listen to this on Anthony Pompliano's channel. It's a great interview. I always like listening to him during my gym sessions, because mornings are for Ivan, evenings I like to listen to Anthony. But we can disrupt our adversaries' use of it, and we can use these technologies to collect more intelligence, gather more information about them, he said. Now, the U.S. government has taken a friendlier approach towards the digital asset space since crypto-friendly President Donald Trump took office on January 20th. Scrapping lawsuits against a number of companies in the space, and even establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, Trump has vowed to make the U.S. crypto capital of the world, but skeptics remain wary of its use by criminals and other bad actors to avoid detection by law enforcement. Now, Ellis noted that crypto was among the resources often favored by wrongdoers, such as North Korean hackers, who have been behind a number of major thefts and use apps to suffocate the movements of funds. Now, bad actors, whether they're drug dealers, cartels, terrorist groups, or outlaw regimes that use crypto, but they use other tools as well, he said, adding that Bitcoin is here to stay, cryptocurrency is here to stay, and as you know, more and more institutions are adopting it, and I think that's a great trend happening. But the U.S. government agencies frequently work with blockchain data firms to track cyber criminals that use of crypto. The American government currently has more than any other authority in the world, with over 198,000 Bitcoin, which is about $19.2 billion at today's prices in storage, according to Arkham Intelligence. And most of that crypto has been seized from criminals. So, yeah, so bad actors are still going to use it. It's like they use money in the general too as well. So if that's the main reason you don't want to use it, it's like, well, you're still using the dollar. Bad actors are still using them. Why are you using the dollar now? Why not switch over to personal? So that's just like a naysayer thing out there to do. And yeah, we are still cracking down on it. Again, if they use stable coins, they can be tracked right there. If they use a centralized coin, they can be tracked right there. If they use Bitcoin, it's a little bit harder to do. But if they put it to an exchange, yeah, you can find them there too. But no, so they are cracking down. And again, this is also a tool that can be used to fight against other countries out there. And so, yeah, so again, adoption's happening faster than ever. And this article will lead into our next one with institutions buying Bitcoin. Just means you retail people or the small mom and pop guys, you guys need to start collecting a little bit more right now. But let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with more news.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
Yes, so we can help you acquire some Bitcoin. So if you guys want to play ball with the big guys, start getting some Bitcoin now. But let's go through this next article for why these smaller mom and pop guys can get priced out with these big institutions getting involved. So here we go. So Bitcoin has emerged as the only true hedge against geopolitical risk, Animoco Brands co-founder said on Cointelegraph and the Longitude event in Dubai. So retail investors are running out of time to accumulate Bitcoin as institutional adoption accelerates, according to Sergey Kuntz, co-founder of exchange aggregator 1inch. Now, Bitcoin is evolving into an alternative reserve currency, propelling institutional demand and potentially pricing out retail investors, Kuntz said during Cointelegraph's Longitude event in Dubai. Now, every retail user should be thinking about getting at least one Bitcoin very soon because they won't be able to afford it, Kuntz said. And you guys should be shooting for at least 0.1 Bitcoin. Like if that one Bitcoin is out of reach, like in your eyes, like strive for 1.1 Bitcoin. If that's not your goal, make it a fun game. Make it 0.01 Bitcoin. Now you have like different levels. Like, hey, this is my bronze medal, this is my silver, and then here's my gold. Like these are my rewards for doing it. So like if you have 0.01, you save up for it, you reach that goal. Boom, you just got the bronze reward. Now you continue collecting, you turn that 0.01 into 0.1 Bitcoin. Boom, you just got a silver prize. And now you can get finally, if you hold one Bitcoin, boom, you're golden. You are well off than anybody else who has not gone into crypto. So yeah, everyone should be right now striving to try to get some Bitcoin in their own custody right now. But if the United States starts buying Bitcoin for a strategic reserve, even smaller countries may soon struggle to acquire the cryptocurrency, he added. I'm pretty sure we'll soon see countries battling over who owns more Bitcoin. The US will definitely start, but Bitcoin's demand has accelerated since US President Donald Trump announced sweeping tariffs on US imports in April, setting off a global trade war. Now, the only thing that still acts as a true hedge across borders against inflation is Bitcoin, Animoco Brands co-founder Yatsui said during the panel. Now, global reserve asset, During the week of April 21st to 25th, Bitcoin exchange-traded funds attracted more than $3 billion in inflows as institutions sought safety in digital gold amid mounting macroeconomic uncertainty. Now, analysts say demand for financial institutions could push Bitcoin's price as high as $200,000 per coin this year. And by 2029, institutional Bitcoin adoption could propel the cryptocurrency price past $1 million. Bitwise's head of European research, Andrei Dragofov, said. Now, here is a figure showing just 3% of FMS investors view Bitcoin as their preferred asset class in the event of a trade war. So, of all these assets that were going on, equities, Bitcoin, T-bills, commodities, treasuries, dollar, and gold, Bitcoin is 3% of that. Now, for Bitcoin, the silver lining is that economic uncertainty has historically accelerated institutional interest in digital assets as a diversification strategy. David Seymour, co-founder and CEO of Wave Digital Assets, told Cointelegraph that as of May 1st, Bitcoin ETFs and other institutions' funds hold upward of $128 billion worth of Bitcoin, according to data from BitcoinTreasuries.net, and corporate treasuries hold another roughly $73 billion, data shows. Now, sovereign states include the US, China, and the United Kingdom, collectively hold more than $130 billion worth of Bitcoin. However, much of those holdings are from crypto assets seized by law enforcement, not outright Bitcoin buys out there. So, yeah, so it just shows like what is their attention? It shows that we know these guys have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It's in some wallet somewhere, and as of right now, it's just been seized from criminal activity out there and whatnot. But if they start actually buying it and acquiring it, again, that's when we'll easily see if it just starts. That will push us from here to 200,000. And if it continues on for the next 4 years, going up to the next Bitcoin halving as well, because we're part of a new cycle trajectory, like that's we've never seen yet before, then like we could be eventually seeing the $1 million Bitcoin. Everyone's throwing around like a $1 million Bitcoin prediction. When was it going to happen? When I got started, I thought it wouldn't have been until like the year 2030, maybe 2040 for that to happen. But it's 2025 right now, and it just seems even closer than ever that we're going to get to that point. So guys, if you need help with acquiring some Bitcoin, call this number down below, 941-413-6920. Or if you just want questions about the Crypto Club, give us a call. Go to our website and our numbers are listed right there for you. But yeah, so institutional buying Bitcoin is a threat for you guys just to realize that like it's going to get harder and harder to get Bitcoin. We say it all the time. People always go like, I can still just go to Coinbase right now. I got my Bitcoin. Yeah, right now you can do that. We're talking about what's going to come down the pipeline later on. Like it's not going to be that easy. So guys, let's get it now. Get it in your own custody and you'll be set. Now, let's move on to our next article on how Kraken was able to spot a North Korean hacker in a job interview. That's right. Some of these hackers are trying to get in on the exchange side and do some bad stuff there. But let's hear how they actually spotted this hacker. So Kraken says a North Korean actor applied for a tech job at the crypto exchange, but foiled their plans after a tip-off from the industry partners. So U.S. crypto exchange has detailed a North Korean hacker attempt to infiltrate the organization by applying for a job interview. Now, what started as a routine hiring process for an engineering role quickly turned into an intelligence gathering operation. The company wrote in a May 1st blog post that Kraken said that applicants' red flags appeared early on in the process when they joined an interview under a name different from what they applied with, and occasionally switched between voices, apparently being guided through the interview. Now, rather than immediately rejecting the applicant, Kraken decided to advance them through an hiring process to gather information about the tactics used. Now, international sanctions have effectively cut North Koreans off from the rest of the world, and the country's ruling under the Kim family dictatorship has long targeted crypto companies and users to top up the country's coffers, and it's stolen billions worth of crypto so far this year. Now, Kraken reported that the industry partners had tipped them off that North Korean actors were actually applying for jobs at crypto companies. And they said that we received a list of email addresses linked to the hacker group, and one of them matched the email the candidate used to apply to Kraken, it said. Now, with this information, the firm's security team uncovered a network of fake identities used by the hacker to apply to multiple companies out there. Kraken also noted technical inconsistencies, which included the use of remote Mac desktops through VPNs and altered identification documents. And then here is the tweet. So Kraken CSO Fiverr recently spoke to CBS News about how North Korean operators unsuccessfully attempted to get a job at Kraken. Don't just verify. And can we play this? Let's see. It's about a minute long.
You first have to invite him to a Zoom call.
Hey, Stephen, how are you? Hey, good.
Or at least that's what Nick Percoco and Dan Burkowski did. Meet Stephen Smith. A do not hire list shared by law enforcement flagged him as a suspected member of Kim Jong-un's cyber army after he applied for an IT job at their crypto platform, Kraken.
I think most tech professionals would have avoided the suspected North Korean spy.
We like to look the attackers right in the eyes. Some people might call it trolling as well. We call it security research.
Kraken recorded Stephen's Zoom call and shared it with us. When asked for his ID, the Houston resident hems and haws for nearly 3 minutes before offering up this phony screenshot. A license showing an address 300 miles away.
Do you think Stephen might have been hired at another tech firm?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, so that guy probably did get passed, but just little cues like that, like they are trying to hack people like no other, especially in this day of age where crypto is just so booming right now. Changes happening everywhere. North Korea has stolen so many using the group, the Lazarus group, for a lot of those hacks. They were part of the Bybit's biggest hack out there too. So hackers are on full force, guys, but this is the exchange showcasing us how they do it. So I like how they're letting us know how these guys are actually doing it. It's just a way for them to gather more intelligence information as well. So this is good news right here. It's bad news that it's a hacker, but it's good news for just the information we're getting because of it. But the applications resumed was linked to a GitHub profile containing an email address exposing a past data breach. And the exchange said that candidate's primary form of ID appeared to be altered, likely using detailed stolen in an identity theft case 2 years prior. Now, during the final interview, Kraken Chief Security Officer Nick Percoco conducted a trap identity verification test that the candidate failed, confirming the deception. Now, don't trust, verify. This core principle is more relevant than ever in the digital age, Percoco said. The state-sponsored attacks aren't just a crypto or U.S. corporate issue, they're a global threat. Now, North Korea pulls off the biggest ever crypto hack. Like I mentioned, the biggest one, $1.4 billion by Bybit. Yep, so that was the longest one they replied to. They also were involved in a $650 million through multiple crypto heists during 2024 through IT workers. And in April, a subgroup of Lazarus Group was found to have set up 3 shell companies, with 2 in the US, to deliver malware to unsuspecting users and scam crypto developers. So again, these guys are full force. If I come across an article, what they're doing, I will report it to you guys, so that way you know what's happening, what's going on. So because most likely it will come to you, and that way you know not to fall for the scam or make any mistakes or slip ups when that happens. Because again, like I get those even text messages too. Oh, this is Coinbase, your account's fraud, or like the not crypto related one, but the oh, you have an unpaid ticket from the Florida bypass, whatever that thing's called out there. So it's like scammers are out there. Just be diligent and just be sure, like you can take a step back, take a breather, and then just be sure you're dealing with a scam or not, because I will tell you, do I continue talking to the person, or do I just block, report, and then walk away forever? That way you don't have to worry about it anymore. But that's what's been going on with Kraken and North Korea hacking exchanges, or trying to accept or infiltrate exchanges out there. Now, let's move on to our final article of the day, which is about the European Union to ban anonymous crypto and privacy tokens by 2027. So what's going to happen? So Europe will ban anonymous crypto accounts and privacy coins starting in 2027 under sweeping new anti-money laundering regulations targeting service providers and token anonymity. Now, the European Union is set to impose sweeping anti-money laundering rules that will ban privacy-preserving tokens and anonymous crypto accounts from 2027. Now, under the new anti-money laundering regulation, credit institutions, financial institutions, and crypto asset service providers will be prohibited from maintaining anonymous accounts or handling privacy-preserving cryptocurrencies such as Monero and Zcash. Now, Article 79 of the AMLR establishes strict prohibitions on anonymous accounts. Credit institutions, financial institutions, and crypto asset service providers are prohibited from maintaining anonymous accounts, according to the AML handbook published by European Crypto Initiative. And this is just the read the MICA with the EUI, just their little introduction there. But the regulation is part of a broader AML framework that includes banks and payment accounts, passbooks, safe deposit boxes, and crypto asset accounts allowing anonymization of transactions and accounts using anonymity-enhancing coins like Monero, Dash, and there was a couple others. But the regulation of the AMLR, AMLD, and AMLAR are final, and what remains is the fine print, aka the interpretation of some of the requirements through the so-called implementing and delegated acts. According to Vyra Savova, senior policy lead at the EUIC, she added that much of the implementation will come through so-called implementing and delegated acts, which are mostly handled by the European Banking Authority. She said, this means that the EUCI is still actively working on these level 2 acts by providing feedback to the public consultations, as some of the implementation details are yet to be finalized. But however, the broader framework is final, so centralized crypto projects under MICA need to keep it in mind when determining their internal process and policies, Savova said. Now, the EU to increase oversight of crypto service providers. So also under the new regulatory framework, the CASPs operating in at least 6 member states will be under direct AML supervision. In the initial stage, AMLA plans to select 40 entities with at least 1 entity per member state, according to the EUCI's AML handbook, and the selection process is set to start on July 1st, 2027. AMLA will use materiality thresholds to ensure that only firms with substantial operations presence in multiple jurisdictions are considered for direct supervision, and the threshold includes a minimum of 20,000 customers residing in the host member state, or a total transaction volume of over 50 million euros. Now, other notable measures include mandatory customer due diligence on transactions above 1,000 euros, and these updates come as the EU ramps up its regulatory oversight of the crypto industry, building on previous measures such as the markets and crypto assets and regulation. So these changes are going into effect. I think they just said it's just the fine print that is the last thing to go through, but it's going to start on July 1st, where they start picking the people to do so. And yeah, so anonymous coins out there may not be used on central entities anyway. So if you're just looking to sell like a coin on, say, Coinbase, Binance, any of those platforms, it will most likely not be in there. We may see like delistings if it hasn't already happened yet on those exchanges or platforms. And then the only way for you to transact with them is go the DeFi route, decentralized finance. Just everything self-custody. You can trade those coins still as you want on decentralized exchanges, and you're not dealing with the AML. It's just you're dealing with blockchain technology. So there's still ways around it, but this is just getting out of the central entity side of it all. So they don't like it, and they're making changes for it. But that is it for the news today. Let's see. We are at a 55 on our Fear and Greed Index right now. If you want to see that, boom, 55 neutral. We went up. We are almost in actual greed territory right now. So people are really getting greedy in the space, which is good because, again, people are into Bitcoin. So yeah, so that is it, everybody. Hope everyone has an awesome Friday. If you're in Sarasota, come on down tonight for our poker night. Always fun to have and a great way to end the week. And yeah, if you go see the new Thunderbolts movie from Marvel, no spoilers. I still got to see that this weekend. I wanted to see it last night, but I totally missed out. But I'll probably go watch it on Saturday. So everyone have a great weekend. I will be back on Monday with more crypto news for you. Take care.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.